Hi, my name is Ross Stisi from the Stisi Group. In this video today, we are going to talk you through the do's and the don'ts before applying for a mortgage. Coming up in a few seconds. So for the rest of this video, we are just going to explain some of the do's and don'ts prior to submitting a mortgage application, things that we've dealt with for many years, that if you could speak to someone way in advance, then these are the things that we would be telling them. So, some of the do's. Electoral Rule. Make sure you're on the voters roll or the electoral roll. So you can do that by checking your credit file, or if you voted, last year, then you'll know whether you're on the voters roll or not. But it's important. A lot of lenders see that as a big thing, a big green stamp. So make sure you're on the voters roll. Next is avoid overdraft limit. So you've got £1,500 overdraft limit, or whatever that may be. If you're riding all the way up to that every month, and then your income goes in, all the way up your income goes in, then chances are you're going to be rejected by a lender. You need to sort out your finances well in advance of that. Stop spending money on things that you perhaps don't need to be spending money on, the luxuries, that sort of thing. You need to get your bank accounts in good order, 3-4 months prior to making any mortgage application. You'll sit down with a mortgage broker well in advance of that anyway, and they'll establish whether you can afford the mortgage or not. But if you're overspending every month, then chances are you're going to have a mortgage application rejected. So, next one is keeping paperwork. Do keep your paperwork handy. So we've sent out our shopping list of documents that we need. We need 3 months pay slips, we need a P60, we need some bank statements, and we sometimes hear, I don't keep that sort of stuff. I just bin it or shred it. So if you have pay slips, whether they're electronic or they're still paper, your bank statements, electronic or paper, keep them handy. Keep them in a folder somewhere. Have a digital file somewhere. Keep them handy. So when you do come, to getting things moving, because as soon as you've got an offer accepted and you're looking for this home, the advisor wants to get moving for you. The only way as brokers or advisors that we can get an application submitted for you is that we have all your paperwork. So it's important you have it all handy. Payslips, ID, address, bank statements, these sorts of things. So just keep your paperwork handy. Don't bin it, don't throw it away. ID and POA, proof of address. So your ID, make sure your passport is in date. Make sure your proof of address is in the correct address. If you've got a driving license and an old address, then that's no good. So make sure that your ID is up to date and you have proof of the property that you stay in at the moment as proof of address. Get that all updated. Credit file. Your credit file should be checked and kept an eye on. We use a company called Check My File. You can go onto our website, stisi.co.uk, stisi.co.uk. At the bottom there's a link to a company called Check My File. You can go on there, you can subscribe to that if you wish to do so. It's well advised because you can just keep an eye on your credit file, make sure everything is hunky-dory and tip-top. The next thing is, if you are self-employed, this applies to you. Accounts done early or submitted early to your accountant. Accountants are busy people, and in the main it can take weeks if not months to get your accounts done. So if you're applying for a mortgage at some point and your year has ended, get all your documents, get all your year-end stuff to your accountant, get it done early. The quicker that happens, the better we can then establish your income, your salary, your dividends, these sorts of things. So if you are self-employed, and that includes limited company directors, get that part done as early as possible. Now, some of the don'ts. Don't miss any payments. Sounds obvious? Don't miss any payments on any of your credit facilities. Your loans, your credit cards, your sofas on finance, your laptops on finance. Make sure it's set up on direct debit. Make sure at least the minimum payments are being paid if it's a credit card. Get those payments set up so you're not going to miss a payment. If you miss a payment 2 months, 3 months, 4 months before the mortgage application, that can kill the whole thing, and it's a huge no-no. Next point is no new credit. Don't be applying for credit just before a mortgage application. A loan, a car finance. You want to avoid credit checks, so you don't apply for a new bank account, a new phone. If you're applying for a mortgage, anytime in the future, avoid any credit checks. Within several months of applying for a mortgage. So just again, another point to avoid. If you can help it, don't change jobs. It's not a big killer, but you've been in a job for a while, you're changing jobs halfway through a mortgage application, or you're just about to submit a mortgage application, you perhaps have a probationary period. Again, we've got access to almost 100 lenders, so every different lender does things differently, but I can just really limit the lenders that we can go to on your mortgage application. So if you can help it, try not to change your job. Next point is, this goes back to this point before, but I'm just going to reiterate it again. Don't bin your paperwork. So keep your paperwork handy. Don't go binning what you've got. Keep it handy, keep it in a folder. So just back to that point up there. And this point is a point we deal with a lot. Do not, if you like a bet, there's nothing wrong with that, absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. But don't gamble beyond your means. Going back to the overdraft situation as well, if we get 3 months worth of bank statements in and it's all Betfred and these sorts of sites, Sky Bet or whatever, and you're gambling beyond your means every month, so you're using your overdraft and whatnot every single month, and there's multiple bets, we put that to a mortgage lender, it'll be an absolute no-no. So if you like a gamble, it's absolutely fine, but do not gamble beyond your means. Big point. Any questions on any of that lot, feel free to get in touch. The website is stisi.co.uk, that's stisi.co.uk. We will happily talk you through any of that lot, and there's more points than that, but that's just some of the main points that I wanted to point out today. So yeah, it's Ross Stisi from the Stisi Group, Trusted Mortgage Experts. Thank you very much.